Hi guys, today's video is sponsored by the Sun £15 holidays. If you're anything like me, now that the Easter holidays are over, you'll be looking for the next thing to look forward to. I can never just be kind of done with, let's just live for a little bit. I always have to have something to look forward to. A holiday, a break, a weekend away, something. With over 270 parks across the UK and Europe, finding your next thing to look forward to couldn't be easier. You have to start collecting the coupons from the 2nd of April. You can from the 2nd of April and you need 8. And I do believe the earlier you collect them, the better, because it means the earlier you can actually book, and they do book up quite quickly. But if you want to find out more about the scheme and kind of how it all works, you can check out my blog post below. In keeping with saving cash on your next family break, I thought I would put together my favourite tips of low-cost activities during the holidays. If you are set on going away, I would recommend that you plan ahead. Things like trains, the earlier you book them, the cheaper that they are. I mean, the difference in train fares especially is absolutely massive. And you can book all the way up to 90 days in advance if you really think about it. Things like planes and Eurostar and stuff like that, even further in advance, and you can get some really good deals. Also, there are certain free attractions. I mean, the Sky Garden in London, for example, which I've still yet to visit, but I really want to, that's actually free. There's an observatory at the top of it and you can actually go up for free, but the tickets sell out really quickly. So free things like that, it's worth kind of trying to book as far in advance as possible to get all those deals that are available. Talking of free activities, there are also museums all over the country that are free to get into. No admission whatsoever. I feel like maybe they do charge extra to see certain exhibits, but I would imagine that would depend on the museum. A lot of them are in London, but they are scattered across the country as well, and it's all completely free. So I would recommend those. We went to a couple of the national museums in London, I think the Space Museum and the Natural History Museum maybe. We went to just before Christmas and the kids absolutely loved it. Really inexpensive day out. Obviously you've got to get there, you can pack lunches and all that stuff, but the museums are completely free, so we walked around them for hours and hours of entertainment for absolutely no money. Something we've really enjoyed in the past as well is scrapbooking whilst we're on holiday, or whilst we have kind of a day out or whatever. All through the holidays, especially when you talk about the summer holidays, it's nice to give them a bit of a project. So if let's say, I mean, they've got 6 weeks off, let's say at the beginning of it you give them a book. We're going away in May time, and I'm going to get each of my kids a book, and I'm going to encourage them to just collect tickets, collect anything you can, bits of paper, photos, everything. Collect it all. You can do it as you're away if you want to, or you can wait until you come home, or even on the journey home, depending on how you're traveling. You kind of put it all together, and it's a really fun, creative activity to put this scrapbook together. And as well, you're always thinking about it, and it's always a little activity wherever you go, is to find things to collect, something to kind of keep them occupied, because sometimes I know my kids just drive me insane sometimes when we're out and about and they're just bored. It's something really cool to send them off to do. It could even be kind of leaves, things from nature. It can be absolutely anything they want to do. Take a pad of paper with them wherever they go, they can draw things that they see, anything like that. Collect all those bits together, and then it's another activity actually putting it all together. And then at the end of it, you've actually got a book of memories. I absolutely love scrapbooking. I can't speak highly enough about it. I know it's a bit of a craze at the moment, but I've always been a big fan. And it's a really nice creative outlet, not only for adults these days, but for kids. It's nice to get them back into it, and it's an activity that really follows through from whatever you're doing to actually putting it together at the end. Something that can be really time consuming if you've got children that never seem to tire of saying that they're bored and they've got nothing to do. Really nice way of collecting memories on holiday, but even if you're at home, a nice thing to do. Staying at home, of course, is even cheaper, and when you've got a really long, expansive holidays, you're not going to be going away all of the time. And I know for a lot of parents, we're going to be in the week with them at home, and they're going to be bored. It's easier to stay at home, but it's also harder because it's harder to keep them entertained. It's harder to find things for them to do. I always have a load of craft stuff at home because they're really into kind of arty stuff, and things like paints, Play-Doh, cut and paste stuff. You can always pop to the local shop and they've got like a big, like supermarkets do big craft boxes now. Really not expensive at all, but it's nice to have it in so that they can just get a piece of paper and do, you know, stick things on it, draw things, paint things. It's just, again, I'm big on creative-y stuff. You don't have to have a specific thing in mind that they want to do. They can make Play-Doh, they can make whatever they want. They can put together an art project with all the different art bits and pieces. It's the goggly eyes for me. I always think, what do you do with the goggly eyes? I've never seen a child create something and put those goggly eyes on it, and I thought, ah, that's what it was. I've never even seen them do like a face and put the it's always just like a picture with random goggly eyes stuck on it. If I ever take my kids to the supermarket and I say, what do you want to buy? Kind of trying to veer away from the toy section and more into activity kind of things, because the toy will last 5 minutes and then they'll still be bored. It's always those kind of craft stuff, pens, pencils, papers, those craft boxes. So they are massively popular with my kids, and we've recently just been buying like poster paints and stuff as well, and they're really handy too, and much easier to clean off things than you would imagine. Lastly, get them in the kitchen. Again, something that can seem so daunting. To let the little ones loose in the kitchen, yes, it can get messy, but it doesn't have to be necessarily something that you have to get all that much involved with, especially if they're a little bit older. Milo recently made some chocolate lollipops. We got a lollipop kit from the shop, and it was so easy. I would definitely do that 1,000 times again. They basically just melted some chocolate, put it in the mold, and a couple of hours later he had these lollipops that were just kind of chocolate, but he thought he'd made them, and it was a nice activity for him to do at the time, but it was kind of a sense of independence and achievement at the same time. Anything like that, anything that involves melting chocolate, I'm a big fan of. And obviously the kids are as well, but it's a fun thing for them to do. So they are my tips. I know they're not particularly revolutionary and you've heard them all a million times before, but we've just had 2 weeks off with the kids, and these were the things that I feel like I would definitely lean on again. We didn't actually go anywhere with the kids this time. I felt like every day I was like, maybe we'll do something tomorrow, maybe we'll, and we just ended up staying in, going to the park, walking around the lake near us and stuff like that, and then obviously the crafty stuff and the baking stuff heavily since it was Easter. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed those tips. If you've got any tips of your own, please leave them in the comments below. We all need a little bit of help, and it is going to be coming up to a very long stretch of holiday in the next few months, so I am all for any tips you've got. Don't forget to check out the £15 Sun holidays. They also have April, May holidays for £9.50 for spring. But again, all that information will be linked in my blog post, and you'll see way more information there. And if you ever use the Sun holidays as well, leave us a comment, let us know how you found it, because I've never done it myself, but I have a friend that does this several times a year and absolutely raves about the scheme and says it's absolutely amazing. Obviously there are add-ons depending on where you choose and what extras you want and things. But if anyone wants to leave kind of their experience in the comments, that would be great for those that are maybe thinking about doing it. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!